Everyone who is following us. This is the Independentalism podcast. My name is Jules Nishimwe. Today, I'd like to share with you one or two insights about this philosophical doctrine. In short, there are some of the things that we cannot live if without, and those are our moral obligations. Like we cannot compromise love, we cannot live without food, we cannot live without drinking, we cannot live without freedom, without peace. There are things that there are the essential things in existence. So for us people to define the existence or to define how we live with those things, we use some of the learns, we use some of the conceptual frameworks to understand the world. For example, if we want to treat ourselves, we will use conceptual frameworks for us to understand how to do so. And that's why we have hospitals. When we want to drink, we will use some of the concept. That's why we will have a drink named this way and the other drink named another way. We will use many concepts for us to define many things. Like we now can use a concept to create a tool of transportation for us to fast, go somewhere. So in short, we human beings have tendencies to define the life we are living in. And by defining it, we use conceptual frameworks. And this concept works as the lens through which we understand the world. So, as we just dive into this concept, most of the time we think that the concept defines who we are. And we forget the essence of life, which is the moral right and obligations, which fuels us to think of the secondary. In short, the independentalism is the essence. It is at the ground. It is before we even set the foundation. That's where it lies. For example, when we say about like philosophy, we say about scientists, we say many things like concepts, we are giving the identity to someone who uses the lens through which he understands the world by that concept. But it is not the person himself at the center. It is the philosophy or the name that's given a person who uses that lens. But who is this person? It is this person who uses concept as tools. But as today's world have had many noise, many concept, many people turn to think that they need concept more than they need to live. They fail to understand that concept is created for them to define the life of their style, the life of their likeness, and what they need to pursue in existence. And that's where the problem arrives. That's where everyone now gets detached to understanding the self and to living life independently and start depending on material world, start depending on philosophical doctrines that don't recognize his place in existence. When we are talking about, for example, a political party, it's a concept or it is something that has been developed for people to defend existence through a philosophical eye. But a person who is in politics, he is first a person in himself. As we can understand, the life starts with a person. He was not a politician when he was born. It's a choice that he made. It simply means it's like glasses that he took and put on his eyes to interpret the world around him and to define that which he needs. And at any time, he can put this glass aside and he will remain a human being. He will live his life accordingly again. So why do we have to remember or to prioritize the primary power that I say in the name of independentalism, that a person is self-sufficient with everything that he needs in existence? It is because when you forget this power, you become a threat to yourself and you become a threat to the community. In short, you fail to guide your choices and actions, and therefore you affect anyone who is around, anyone who surrounds you. It becomes something that disrupts you and detaches you from reality to understanding the world through the lens that don't touch the reality. For a person to understand his independent life, he firstly has to stop thinking of any external understanding and start understanding by himself the independent power that lies in himself and uses as a tool that guides him in existence. When a person fails to do this is where a person will look for external people and external out forces to understand the world. So in short, I'd like to remind you and make everyone understand that beyond any concept or any academic paper, there is the power inside you to understand and guide your choices and actions. And this power is the independent power inherent in every human being. You either follow it or you don't. When you don't follow it, the consequences abide in you. The consequences that will come, you will have to face them. And when you face them, I know the first consequence you will face is depression. Life will confuse you. Everything will be like happening around you. You will not understand anything that's going on, but you will see things going on. And the second thing, you will fail to relate to people. You will not be able to interdepend with the world around you. And lastly, to adapt, it will be a must. You will live that life as if it is the true life you should be living, whereas it is dependence dressed as life. Thank you so much for having followed us.